Yeah, I think every American thinks of it as their story, the immigrant and the immigration story. So every American has a kind of connection to it that I think is different than people in Europe. But actually, in my case, I come from a family that is, when I was born in the 50s, was a surprising mix. My father's family are Jews from Eastern Europe who came to the United States in the 1880s, and my mother's family came on the Mayflower. So old American Protestant family and recently arrived Jews. And so, of course, I grew up being interested in what made them different, but also in what they had in common. Yeah, I think that what's always defined the American identity, I mean, we're a country that's built not on blood, not on territory, not on who you were in the past, but on an idea. And it's an idea about politics, and it's an idea about that anyone can come there and be a success, and that what you come from doesn't matter very much, and it's what you do when you get there that matters. And we're willing to accept people who are different if they want to buy into that ideas, and it includes ideas about tolerance and about freedom and about inclusion and democracy. And if you come and buy into those ideas, we say we don't care who your father was or what color you are or where you come from. That's the essence of what it is to be American, and that's, I think, that's as alive and vibrant and appealing as ever. Yeah, I work with companies because I think it's a politically effective way to attack this problem. Immigration is driven by economics. People are coming to work, but our laws are so out of sync with that labor need. So I think the best people to make that case are small business owners. It's not because I think they're always right or they're always right about everything or have the whole answer on immigration, but on the particular thing that's broken, I think they have a good voice. And I think a lot of people in the United States are seeing immigration as a problem of rights and compassion, and I think that's important, but I actually don't think that you persuade many people politically with that kind of argument. The way you persuade people politically is it's in your interest. This is for your own sake. You have to do this.
With your work?
Well, we've built a constituency of small business owners who are willing to stand up and say, we do need these workers. They're good not just for our companies, but for the communities and for the economy. And the argument is, if I don't have enough, if I try to find an American worker to work on my farm, if I can't find him, I have to close down my farm or I have to shrink my business. And if I close my business or shrink my business, the Americans who work for my business also are out of jobs. It's less about political instruments it's less about policy, it's less about political instruments than it is about this big idea of the country, and then about making sure that social mobility works. So it's about big ideas about difference and national identity. And then the second pillar, it's two pillars. The second pillar is, does society really work for people at the bottom to rise up? So do the schools work? Does the workplace open to people? Can people rise on the basis of their talents? Can they start businesses? Can they get rich? And both those things have to work. You have to have the right idea about difference and how you accommodate it, and then the social elevator has to work. And people talk in Germany about people don't want to integrate. If that social elevator worked, people would get on it. I think that ultimately Germany has the same problem that maybe every country has now in the modern world, which is a tension between their need for immigrants. I mean, the people in Germany women are having fertility rate is 1.38. I mean, in order to keep your country at a level, you need 2.1. So Germany's at 1.38, big population problem. Plus, every country in the world now is competing for the smartest scientists and engineers and innovators. The way in the 19th century countries competed for territory, and countries competed for colonies, and countries competed for iron and coal, now what you have to compete for are Indian, Chinese, and other scientists. And so Germany has a need for these workers like we all do, but Germany doesn't have a lot of experience of how to be an immigration country. So that's a hard problem. And, obviously the Saracen book is, not a book I necessarily agree with, but it's provoked a conversation. And people are grappling with what does it mean to be an immigration country. And it's not something that you solve the first day or the first month or the first year or maybe the first decade, but people are trying to say, what does it mean? And so I'm encouraged by that, and I'm encouraged by the generation that I see, which I didn't, I've been coming here and talking about migration for a while. There's a generation of successful young people of migration background that it's wonderful, and they maybe aren't yet getting the recognition they want, or they don't feel that the ladder is easy enough to climb, but I'm meeting lots of wonderful young people who are going to be the future of this country who come from migration background. So, I'm an optimist, right? I come to a place, I see a lot of interesting things happening here. Mm-hmm. People are talking about it in a very soul-searching way. That's a good start. Mm-hmm. Maybe I'll turn out, maybe I haven't met all the bad people yet, but...